Alex Campo, since you are 1% out of 300,000 that got the dermatomyositis disease, we'd like you to film yourself answering these questions for medical purposes. Okay. Question 1. Define the dermatomyositis. Okay, well, the dermatomyositis is a degenerative disease that attacks principally the skin and the muscles. For the skin, all it does, it makes your knuckle redder, and for the muscles, which is the big part of the disease, it sort of eats your muscles in a sense that each day your muscles get weaker, so you have less capabilities of walking, just putting on clothes, and doing everyday stuff that you used to take for granted. Question 2. How old were you when it all started? I was around 6 when we started to see that I was getting weaker, and it's by playing hockey that some friends' parents told my parents that I was getting slower and slower and skinnier. And so we went to the doctor, and that doctor told us that it was just me growing up, it's normal. So until the age of 7, about a year, we believed him, saying that I was only growing up, everything was normal. But then we went to another doctor, and that doctor said that it could be that disease, the dermatomyositis. So we went to the St. Justin Hospital, and that's when they said that I'd had to stay there for 3 weeks. And that was at the age of 8. Question 3. How did it affect my everyday life? Being a very athletic person, which is one of the reasons why I became paralyzed because of the disease. Because if I was only on the computer all day, that could have been an effect from the disease, being paralyzed. But since I was athletic, I couldn't do my sports as I like to. I couldn't dress myself in the morning. I couldn't just put my socks on, just sit in the Indian like we did, listening to teachers. I'd had to have a chair by myself. And that's really just simple stuff that you take for granted that I couldn't do by myself anymore. Question 4. How was the treatment in St. Justin Hospital? I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better place to stay, except the first day I woke up. Well, the doctors woke me up at 6, having to take a blood test, which made me cry because I did not want it to start like that, but it did. But every day I would have a couple tests. The biggest ones were tests where they put white stuff in my food to see how slowly it would go down my throat, because my throat muscles would be weaker, right? So I wouldn't eat anymore. That's why I was skinny, and that was really disgusting. Another one was where they operated my leg, taking a muscle out to examine it, and putting wires in my nose to test, just muscle testing that was really not painful, but just not agreeable. Question 5. Were there any effects from your treatment? During my stay at the hospital, I didn't take any pills, so there were not really any effects from the treatment. But once I got out, I took 14 pills a day, and those pills, one of them was the cortisone, which made me eat a lot. One of the secondary effects of it is that you're always hungry, which made me look from this little guy, to this one. 2.5 months taking 45 pounds. Question 6. Were there any advantages of being sick? Well, being that I got treated during summer, I missed half of it because of that. But there were some advantages. Since Robert Leclerc, who was one of my doctors at the time, was really generous, he brought me to the Bell Center to see the Canadians in Alex Kovalev's lodge, which was my favorite player at the time, and he still is, even though he doesn't play. And that thing made me in the Valleyfield Press, Le Hockey Plus Fort Que Tout, where it describes my disease and the night and just my life in general. And also, I got to go to the Banquet, which is Deal or No Deal in French, with Julie Snyder, when it was the Canadians, old players and some recent ones. So I got to meet all of them. They signed my book, whether it's Guillaume Latendresse, Henri Richard, Patrick Roy, or even I took a picture with Jean Béliveau, who is giant, by the way. Those 2 nights are just amazing, and I'll never forget them. Question 7. And now, that's not specific, but basically, I'm done with the disease. In 2011, I stopped taking the 14 pills per day, and in 2012, I stopped taking the 5 needle shots per month and blood tests and stuff like that. So that part was over, but my case was still open in the St. Justin Hospital. In 2014, they closed it because there was 2 years without anything happening. So in 2014, they closed it. But the disease could still come back. There's a little chance. I think it's 30%. And since I already had it, there's a better chance, but it's really not probable. And also, if I get sunburnt on here, it could cause it. But basically, right now, I guess we could say I'm all grown up.